Hello, everybody. Welcome to Step into the Portal. My name is the Brandt, and I've got a cast of characters here today because we got back. We all look well rested. We got back from 3 days of gaming and probably 2 days of driving from the MCDC event that was held in the Washington, D.C. area on the East Coast of America for people who might be international. And we're going to go through all the things that happened. So thanks to everybody who joined us here. So let's see who we've got. We've got Steve here from Critical Encounters. We've got Jonah, who helped organize the event. Brian is below me on my screen, also helped organize the event. And Nelson, never heard of him.
I'm just happy to be here.
Me too. Me too.
How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Just give us a general how you feel it went, Steve. Why don't you start with you?
It was great. I showed up Friday, stayed through Sunday, brought my son with me, who's only 12. We had a wonderful time. I'm well rested. I did not come home with any con crud, so that is excellent. I don't, sometimes you come home a little sick. I mean, played a ton of games, just had a great time with everybody.
Nice. Jonah, how you feeling? You holding my cards hostage?
I'm holding your cards hostage. Actually, I think they went out in the mail.
Thank you.
Yesterday, James was nice enough to stop by my house, grab them. He had a couple of other things I think were yours, and so he took them off. So
no worries.
No, I had a great time. I was so tired by the end of it. I imagine everybody was, but I was just like, oh man, like I was so done in by the end of Sunday that it felt good to go home and just lay out on the couch for a few hours and do absolutely nothing. So,
Brian, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm ready. I'm ready for more games. Let's bring it on.
Nice. Nelson, how was your trip?
It was really good. I really enjoyed the experience. I think I didn't realize exactly how tired I was until I was playing another Champions game like today on stream, and I was like, I don't think I've followed any of the rules yet. So I'm tired but happy. How about that?
I think the reason that I'm more well rested and more ready to go is I had an entire day almost off of playing games while I watched all of you play games and answered questions and tie breaks and stuff. Yeah.
But you had a lot shorter drive than some of us too.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
nice.
Brandt had a pretty good drive. Nelson, you had a good drive. I mean, people came from all over, right? People flew in.
We had people from as far away as Edmonton, Alberta. So
that's impressive.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, my drive was 8 hours of boredom. Sorry, 7.5 hours of boredom and 30 minutes of going over the George Washington Bridge. And the bridge is fine. The traffic even is fine. It was the getting over 2 lanes while on the bridge that was intense in the dark. It was just like Larry looking out the window and being like, just go, and like in this giant car that wasn't even mine. I'm trying to veer over, and then it was fine. Then it was easy. It was not a problem. The rest of the trip, I actually drove the whole thing down and the whole thing back. The other guys didn't even drive at all. I just did it.
What were they there for if they didn't do any of the driving?
Gas money.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly run through the weekend, and then I want to ask Jonah and Brian about kind of like what their goals were, since they were part of the planning committee. Also, when I turned over to you, you can let us know about like all the people or how many people you had. You don't have to name them all, but what you had. So basically, it looked like there was some pre-gaming Thursday. Unfortunately, didn't make it, but that is an important part to know about these conventions. There's always pre-gaming. Thursday always picks up and gets pretty busy for these things, and Sunday drops off pretty quickly. So if you're planning your event, you're thinking, do I want to also take Thursday off? If you can and you can get there, I definitely think you get a lot of pre-gaming Thursday, and I felt like it was similar here. And if you say, am I going to be okay leaving Sunday? You probably are, because a lot of people are doing that. Obviously, if you have the flexibility to stay longer. So there was a lot of pre-gaming in the hotel, which the lobby of the hotel seemed very accommodating, which was great. Yeah. And then Friday, it was just a short walk or drive, whatever you wanted to do, over to Huzzah Hobbies. We were actually in Alexandria, Virginia. Is that correct?
Ashburn, Virginia. But yeah.
Ashburn, Virginia.
Yeah.
And we could walk there if we wanted to, or drive over. It's kind of same difference. And so we were able to go over there, and we had we did a campaign. So Friday was mostly comprised of a Dr. Doom Fantastic Four related campaign that we played. I actually played with Nelson through that. Then some open play. A lot of people were trying PvP. Saturday was Loki, and we had Loki actually there running it, which was awesome. I was personifying Loki. And that was 82 players playing Loki simultaneously, which we believe is now the record. And I sent photos to Boggs, so he was very excited to see those.
Nice.
He's the one who designed it, for people who don't know. And then Saturday afternoon was really more the Brian show, taking over PvP and running us through 3 rounds of that through the evening. A lot of game back in the hotel. That night was a big lobby night. Lots of people out there. And then Sunday was custom content. And what I thought was neat was not only was it telling people to bring custom, but you supplied a lot of custom content. So people were playing Mandarin and Mr. Negative and Scorpio and Gore. There was a lot of ones that were printed and even available for people to take with them. And then people had their custom content, their DC, and Joe and I played your White Queen, which was really fun. So it was neat to do that. And then some people were mixing and matching. They were playing custom villains, but still playing with the decks they knew, because the brain burn was like serious on Sunday. So that kind of gives people the scope of the event. There were kind of those 4 major pieces with a lot of open gaming. But Jonah and Brian, you guys can decide between you. But kind of as people behind this, what was your goals? Like, what did you want to see happen? Why did you want to do MCDC? Take it away.
Yeah, I think it all started kind of with like a kind of a joke conversation on Discord like 2 years ago, where like I think that the tickets for Con of Heroes 2024 had just gone on sale or something, and we were like, oh, like, but we should just do an event in the DC area. Like now that we have a good group of people here, like let's just plan something. And it was kind of a joke. Everybody's laughing about it. And then, maybe, I don't know, it's probably a full year ago now and a little bit more that we just were like, okay, let's get serious. If we're going to do this, like, what would it take? Like, what would we need? And then we just sort of kicked everything into gear from there. So we've been planning it for a solid year plus, and wanted to make sure that we were, doing some of the similar things that we all enjoyed from Con of Heroes, but also some different things that we feel like we can offer, and just sort of ways to lean into what we're good at, also. So yeah, I think overall our goal was to get people into the room, like meet old friends, new friends, and play a bunch of games. We definitely succeeded at that. And I think, the structure around it, which Brian and I had a lot to do with, and the rest of the team, it all worked pretty well, because I think we had a lot of people playing with people that they don't know and meeting new folks. And that was kind of the overall goal.
Yeah. So the DMV, as it's known, the DC metro area, is, for those not familiar with the area, it really comprises like the 3 states, Virginia, Maryland, DC, which is not a state, but, and then we have people coming, we literally have people that come, a few times a year because they have family here and they're coming from out of state. So we have a pretty decent sized group in the area, but we all are like, I have to drive. It's like an hour and 30 to hour and 40 minutes to get to Huzzah from me. So, we get together, not nearly as much as we would like to. And we have kind of a wide reaching area here in the middle. And about 2 years ago, I went to my first Con of Heroes, loved it, came back, told everybody how great it was. Several of us came last year to this Con of Heroes, like it was Jonah's first one, for example. And again, came back, told everybody how great it was. And there's a lot of people who just like aren't able to travel, either because of the time of the year or where it is, or because of family commitments or whatever. And so that was sort of like, we should do an East Coast event, because we love having the event in May, but then you have this whole like dead time rest of the year. We should do something, another time of the year. And, luckily it wasn't up to me, because, I might be well adapted for the running the events and setting up the content, but, booking the hotel, getting the rooms, doing all the website, all that stuff, that is a team effort. So yeah, we had about I think 7 or 8 people who were our core committee. Jonah was sort of the ringleader, the CEO, setting everybody up with their
nice.
their roles. So I was in charge of programming, and we had Boom Guy from Winning Hand with marketing, and we had a person running a website, somebody booking the venues, lining up food, doing prizes. So we shared the burden, and I think that's really what made it happen.
Nice. Wow, I didn't realize it was 7 or 8 people. And Jonah, I didn't realize you were the CEO, if you will. So it's good. It's good that I have it on here. I actually didn't know who the main
man
person
behind
was.
the curtain.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I think he was smart, and he was just like, I'm going to tell everybody what their job is, and then that way I don't have to be the one doing it. He's the ringleader, the mastermind.
You learn to delegate, and you don't have to do the real work. Yeah, sounds like it.
All right. So Nelson and actually, we'll start with Steve. So did you feel like they succeeded? Like, did they bring people together? Were you seeing people you've seen before? Were you getting a lot of games in? Was it kind of a same feel as something like Con of Heroes, but yet a different feel with some of the things they were doing? Do you think goals were achieved?
Yeah, I think they hit their goals. We were able to drive down. We're East Coast, so we were able to come down as a little easier than the Con of Heroes with the airplane and stuff for us. So I was able to bring a buddy of mine. So I'm playing with people I already knew, and Daniel was there, and people that I knew were there. And then there was lots of folks I didn't know, and I got in quite a few games with people I didn't know. They might have known me from like the podcast, and it was like, oh, can I get a game in with you? I think the only problem is you guys didn't like warp time so that I could play more games, because like I didn't get a game in with any of you, right? There's just no time. Actually, Nick, who just joined us, I did get a game in with him. But I wasn't able to play with you guys, right? And it's like I really wanted to. And Caleb Grace was there, and him and I had communicated before the con. We were going to play a game. Didn't get a chance because you start a game and you're playing that game. And it's so much fun. And then somebody asks you for a game and off you go. So, I mean, we did play the Loki stuff. We did do some custom content. We brought a villain Dung Beetle, and we played that one. And we played Mandarin. We played Mr. Negative. So we hit those things. We did one round of PvP, and that was enough for us. And we moved on. There were no villains in that, so we couldn't really. It was just like a lot of heroes. But yeah, I mean, I Saturday night I looked in the mirror after gaming, and my eyes were as red as Brian's shirt because I was not sleeping. I was playing so much stuff. So yeah, it was great. Kudos, guys. A lot of fun.
Thank you.
And the swag was awesome too, right? All this custom art from you guys. I know we brought some. There was Winning Hand stuff. Like other people who just came, just had things, right? Here's a Nightcrawler. Here's a Miles Morales, just random stuff. So that was really fun too. So
nice. Nelson, quick before we hear from you, I want to make sure that people check out Nelson's channel, Nelson All Over Cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know it changed, so I feel bad. But I'm sure many people know Nelson's channel. He does a great job. But make sure you go check out his recap. He was extremely thorough, which I love, but I want to focus on the people of the con. So if you want to know like the details of all that, he did a great stream for that. And then also everybody say hello to CN Spartan, who traveled down with me. He is also here. We came down from Connecticut. So, all right, Nelson, what do you think? Did they hit their goals?
Absolutely. I think I said something on the stream around the fact that how impressively well run of a con it was, and then you take a step back and realize it was the first one, and it was just like, okay, that's really, really special. And to go back to the part of your question of did it feel like Con of Heroes? Did it feel different? It felt the same and different all at the same time. One of the things that I really appreciated was actually having time set aside for custom content and kind of showcasing the community, both in like the art styles and all the cool promos and everything, but also the scenarios and hero designs. I got to play alongside Jonah and his White Queen hero, which was really fun. And just having set aside time for that, I think is really cool because I think personally, if I have a choice to play between custom and a like FFG published scenario, I will typically default to the FFG. I don't know why. That's just me. So having like time set aside that we can actually like this is the goal, this is the event, get to do that was really cool. And now I want to play more custom stuff.
Yeah, it felt like it was okay to play the custom content. Like you were empowered to try this other stuff. and everyone was on board with it because you guys had said this is custom content time if you want to do it. So it just felt like, yeah, I'm allowed to do this. It's okay, right? It doesn't,
Yeah.
and everybody else was good with it. So
Yeah, and I'm glad that worked out, and thanks for saying that. Yeah, we love Kind of Heroes, but we didn't want to just do exactly what they're doing because, not only do we want our stuff to be and our event to be unique in its own way, but also we want Kind of Heroes to shine as the great event that it is and that it's run by their team. So one of the things that a lot of our locals, really enjoy the custom stuff, and they'll bring it to our get-togethers. So, the idea of like, well, that's something that we can do that is sort of unique to this event. And by the time Sunday rolls around, you've been playing all the same stuff that you brought, the official stuff. Especially if you're flying, you probably only have a few.
Not me, Brian.
Not you. You brought everything, but
no, the opposite. I brought nothing.
You brought nothing, exactly. So by the time Sunday rolls around, maybe try something new, try something fresh. So I'm glad that it gave you that permission because it is really fun, and a lot of people work really hard in the community to make those things, and it's nice to give it space.
I think you guys also had the great timing that Civil War was actually in people's hands, right? Like if that had not showed up, that would have been tricky. And Loki too, right? Like this was like, I feel like my first chance to play at massive multiplayer.
Yeah. We got really, we were very fortunate in that regard because we actually were talking a few weeks before, just maybe during the summer, and we're like, all right, what's the contingency scenario if it's delayed again, if it's going to come out like the week after our event, what are we going to do instead? So we talked a little bit about that. Thankfully didn't have to make that adjustment. Unlike Brandt, I think, with your event. So,
but we do have our event next week for people who might be in this area. In fact, Adam says, see you all next week at the portal. So we will be running some Civil War. And we're also running similar style events. We announced we're actually we're going with the title Assemble. Is going to be the name of our events. And so we'll have February, July, and TBD because we don't want to run into you guys in the fall. So we'll work together to make sure that there's two separate events for people in the fall time.
Awesome.
So we're going to have those next year as well. And while I'm here, Mr. Self-Destruct says, look at these handsome devils.
He's such a good liar.
Nice. All right, Spartan. So we were talking about goals for the con. They were saying, something that feels like Con of Heroes, but also has a different feel that brings people together, both old and new. What were your overall feelings on the con? You feel like they hit those goals?
Oh, I don't think we have.
Oh, you
audio.
muted?
Oh no, he's
unmuted.
But we'll come back to you because we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Brandt, can I say compliments to you as Loki?
Yeah, you did a great job.
As a villain connoisseur, I thought you
Yeah.
were a wonderful Loki.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I felt threatened personally. Like I was like, he's gonna do something nasty.
Yeah.
To
He
me.
was so good as Loki. I was like, we need to let Loki win. So we were trying to, do we let ourselves die off here? How do we help Brandt out?
Exactly.
So,
Well, you did your part. You did add a couple
We
notches to Loki's tally.
Yep. Our whole pod put in one, like maybe
Exactly.
4 or 5.
I do want to thank you, Brandt, because that was great. Because I knew we wanted to do the Loki event, and I knew that one person kind of keeping track of everything. If it's close to 100 people, and we sold 100 tickets, we had almost everybody show up, and I was like, I would really like a right-hand man for that. And Brandt, you were very gracious in stepping into that role, and then you played us all for fools because you are the god of lies.
Yeah, I was more than happy to help. Honestly, for me at a convention, it's hard for me to just be an attendee. Like I like being part of things and doing things. And a hidden motive would be to say now that I have run or helped run. Certainly, you guys organized the event. I'm not taking that credit. But the largest Loki event to date, I am happy to if there's a Marvel Champions Book of World Records, I would like to be part of that. So
did they not? They didn't get more than we had at Gen Con or anything. It was smaller than
they
that?
did 64 at a time.
Oh,
So each session was
Yeah.
64.
Oh, but
So if
had
you
more
want to
than one.
argue that the 4 or whatever
Yeah.
sessions they ran would be bigger,
No,
but they
that's
didn't do
not
a
at the same
bigger
time,
event.
So
Yeah.
No, we're glad to take the credit.
yeah, we're taking that right now.
Yeah. You earned
Take
it.
the credit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Mhm.
there's Nick.
We can hear him now.
You can hear me.
Yeah. All right, tell us about your thoughts about the con when they hit those goals.
I mean, all right. So first thing I have to say is I was one of the teams that was undefeated. I was one of the
Mhm.
3. All right. Even though I
Yes.
died the first one.
I was to say you were defeated, but luckily Larry.
Oh
kept-
yeah, no,
kept it
Larry.
going.
Larry definitely carried me through the entire thing. I don't want to dismiss that at all, but we were undefeated
Oh yeah.
between 2 of us. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
what's up. I think the main takeaway of all of this is that it's fun for all of us to be able to get together.
Mhm.
Con of Heroes, amazing. The DC event is amazing. The only problem is that now that I've got 3 or 4 different events every year, my wife is going to probably not appreciate me going to all of these things, even though
That's
she
why you
does.
bring her.
Yeah.
I do bring her to some of them,
Some,
but
yeah.
but then you know we got kids, you know, and that's the problem. So
It's a good problem to have, though.
So how
It is.
the question is, how old are the kids, right? Because I brought mine. He was 12, and there was Caldius. If you guys know Craig, he brought his 2 kids, and they're like 10 and 8. And there was another person there. So there were some kids there, and they played a game without us, all kids, and they were involved and having a good time. You know, by hotel night time, they were a little burned out and ready to go to bed. But
sure, and I think Kate would have had a lot of fun.
there you go. Yep.
She's my 11-year-old, but at the same time, like I took her out of school like for half a week last month, so I probably couldn't have done that.
Yeah, Jonah, it was your daughter was the other kid.
Yeah,
Yes.
my daughter Maris.
Maris.
I kind of put the idea in her ear last week, and she was like, I mean, I guess. And I'm like, no, it'll be fun. Like, I know Craig's kids are going to be there, and I'm Steve. I think you mentioned your kid, that Tommy would be there. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So
Yeah, I can get Kate to come with us to our games at the portal, and she can maybe do 1 or 2 games. I don't know how she will do in a whole weekend.
yeah, it's a
10
lot.
to 10. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did pretty good.
It's a lot, and God bless you guys and all of your kids that were able to stay focused for most of the weekend. I know my child wouldn't have been able to.
Well,
yeah, it's a big part of it. Even as adults trying to stay focused, you definitely feel the slide at some point, you know.
Well,
Oh
everybody's
yeah,
so,
I mean,
so friendly.
I definitely felt it Sunday when we were doing the custom content.
Yeah.
I think you were the only smart one, Nick, that you pulled out a hero that you knew well, and we're just like, I'm just gonna play this. I'm not fooling around with any of these. Yeah.
Did you all hear what the final game of MCDC 2025 was? That ended around like 1 a.m. It was a 5-player Mojo game.
Nice.
We were the one that you were a part of.
I saw a picture from that game actually.
We were. It was the cleanest game ever played. Obviously,
sure.
The rules police were right there, right? They were looking over your shoulder, and
it was a good time. It was just like by the end of it, we're like, everyone's just kind of glazed over, and we're like, well, we should go to bed.
Yeah, because all 5-player games are amazing. I definitely did a 5-player Kang, and I wasn't ready to start strangling people at the end of it.
All right, so I want to move on to some of the other things that we have to talk about. So the venue was Huzzah Hobbies, which I thought did a great job. They were very accommodating. David, I believe, was the owner. I'm not sure which. And I told him when I first was there that, like, I've hosted some of these things, I've been to things, and Champions players really do rise above. It's a great community. The fact that you don't have competitiveness helps a whole bunch. And I feel like we lived up to that throughout the weekend, which was really neat. And he said that he appreciated all of that. The hotel was really nice. They were sweet, so it had big space, and the lobby was very accommodating. People were a little hesitant, I feel like, to play in the morning, making sure other guests had space for breakfast specifically, since it was also in the lobby. But then people would sneak in a game, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, people started playing. And I thought there was generally plenty of space, a few uncomfortable chairs, but that's just kind of part of hotel lobby gaming, much bigger than the lobby at Con of Heroes. So that was nice. And I thought the schedule was really accommodating. It was a little bit back to back with things, but there was also kind of some space to get stuff done. So Jonah and Brian specifically, how did you feel about kind of those three elements, the venue, the hotel, and the schedule?
Brian, you want to go first on them?
Sure. Yeah. I'm really happy that the hotel worked out as well as it did, and that space was great. So that it was James, who some of you might know as a minion on Critical Encounters sometimes, and he arranged for that and had that all set up. And then, the venue was great. I mean, the only thing that I would change is if we can make it 3 times bigger and have more people there. But it was clean and big and accommodating. The people that ran it were really nice, and there's a snack bar with drinks and beer and wine, and that kept people happy. And I think one thing is sometimes you just don't want to stop gaming, so if you could go order a snack or something and a drink and then get back to the games and have it delivered to your table, that's wonderful. It was a little tight, especially during our more the Saturday events, because people that couldn't get off work on Friday had come in, so we had our full attendance there for that. And again, I think the only thing I would like to have better is just if we can magically make it the Quidditch World Cup tents, and you walk in and it's 3 times the size that it is. So
yeah, I'd echo all of that. I think we love Huzzah Hobbies. We've been there many times. We have a lot of meetups there. And so, at this point, they kind of know us. And so when it came time to finding a venue for the event, we kind of had this suspicion that we couldn't, we would have too many people. And so we were actually looking elsewhere, spaces that were bigger. And then at one point we talked to them and they were like, well, we can get 100 in here easy. And at that point we were like, all right, I mean, we don't know how many tickets we're going to sell. I personally always thought we could sell, all the tickets we would put on sale, but I was trying to be a little bit, conservative and say, hey, does it work if we get 60 people? Does it work if we get 80 people? Does it work if we get 100 people? So yeah, and they offered us their space. They were great. They opened early all 3 days for us, which was also great. I agree that if the space were bigger, we would be happier, because it was tight. And that's not always super comfortable. There was one game where I was stuck 1 seat from the wall, and each of the tables is 12 seats, so it's 3, you have 3 games next to each other, and so I'm in the 11th of 12 seats, and I'm I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I'm looking around you know what, I can hold it. I'm just gonna wait till this game's over. I can't get out of here. So
yeah, that was probably the trickiest spot of the venue, was that the tables for safety and space purposes were pushed all the way up against the wall, which meant I think stuff was fine. It was well communicated. Don't bring a lot of stuff. And I didn't see people bringing gobs and gobs of stuff. People seemed to know, or since they could park their cars, they could have stuff in people's cars. But I agree, when you were in those inner seats and you had to get up, you were inconveniencing a lot of people. You felt so it was I'll just wait to get a snack, or I'll wait to go. I'll do it all in one fell swoop. And I mean, what are you going to do when you're busy? That's just part of it. But more space would help on that front.
Yeah,
cool.
We joke around with them about buying the place next door and knocking the wall out and just making the space bigger, but because they actually did that once. The space we were playing in used to be the store next door to them, and they actually bought the space, knocked the wall out in between, and expanded. So we're kind of thinking they'll do that again maybe this year. So
they did open some of that wargaming space in the back. There were a few tables, and that was really nice. You just kind of could stand at them, and there's some extra space, and it felt cooler. And what are you going to do? It was great.
Yeah, so. Those are great, and actually they kind of mirrored what we had at Game Center and Con of Heroes this year, where there were a few tables kind of outside the main room there.
Mhm.
That were standing tables, and actually got to play a game or two there at Con of Heroes, and it was actually great to like stand up and play for a game or two. So.
Yeah, we have a similar thing at our store where we have like a back room that has only those tables. And if I said to people, "Oh, you have to stand for the whole con," they'd be like, "I don't think I want to go." But as soon as you tell people there are standing tables after they've sat for a while, they can't wait to play standing games. So it's like you need a mix. You have to have somewhere to sit at some point. If you knew you were going to stand for 3 days straight, you wouldn't get through it. But finally, when you can go stand, you have so much space. All of a sudden, you feel like, yeah, let's all play Iron Man. Like
So much space. Oh my gosh, it completely changes the game for you. Honestly, being able to play on those wargaming tables, yeah, it's so much better.
So
Brian, how did you? Oh, Brian talked about the venue stuff. Go ahead, Steve. What were you gonna say?
I would say one of the things you didn't mention were the raffles, and that was great. You guys had people donate stuff, right? And I think did it like everybody win something? Maybe I don't know. It seemed like everybody got something. It was great.
The goal was for everybody to get something. Okay. Thanks to some of the folks here, actually, Brandt, Steven, Nelson, all donated some things. We had a ton of other people just kind of approach us and be like, "Hey, can you just give this away?" And in fact, like my trunk was kind of the trunk of my car was the sort of holding spot. And I opened up the trunk like on Friday when I was getting ready to go home, and I was like, "What is this?" There's like random stuff just like in my trunk. But yeah, so it was great, like extremely generous. We actually had 2 Captain America packs donated, which we kind of raffled off, and a Wolverine pack as well. Mm-hmm. So those folks were extremely generous with those kinds of things.
Yeah, how did that go? That was sort of like a special to the side. I own those cards, so I didn't participate.
Yeah,
I wanted someone who didn't have it to get it.
Totally. It was just somebody generously offered, "Hey, like I've got a sealed Captain America pack." Someone donated a sealed one, and then someone had an opened one that they just donated the cards from the pack. And they said, "Just give this away, send it to a good home." And we were talking before the event, like, how do we make sure that this goes to somebody who's going to play it and enjoy it versus like, head right to eBay.
Somebody's going to flip it.
Yeah. Thankfully, one of the cap packs, we had a special raffle where you had to buy a ticket, and you could buy as many tickets as you wanted. But one of the Captain America packs went to one of our locals, actually, who has been looking for it for like 2 years now. So we're super excited for her.
Yeah.
Can we take a second to appreciate how like the first 4 or 5 winners of the raffle all weekend was from one table?
Like it was crazy.
It was my table,
and
it was great. Yeah.
But
like, it was just like every single time you call the next name, it was like, there's no way, and it just happened to be the next person at the table. It was,
but it wasn't my table.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to get good at picking tables. Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
You got to find Nelson.
Right.
Good luck, Charlie.
Next to Nelson. Okay. That's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the raffles. I think that they're just super fun, especially if you are able to then like get some product that was available at a different con that maybe you weren't able to go to or was out before you were able to get in the game. It's just like a really cool way to like get that into the hands of some players. But I also want to talk about like the location. Brandt, you were talking about how like the hotel was right there. It was a nice like 10-minute walk, probably 3-4 minute drive over, but it was in the someone told me what it was called earlier. It's a better word for a strip mall, but it wasn't a strip mall, but they were all kind of connected to like a lot of different restaurants. There was ice cream, there was coffee, really good food, really accessible food. Just like from that standpoint, fantastic location as well. Also, I learned today during stream that it's not Hurrah Hobbies, which I've been calling it all weekend.
It's the same sentiment.
Nelson, right? it wouldn't be you if there wasn't something mispronounced.
Yeah, right.
I actually enjoyed that a lot. I was laughing about it earlier. So
that's great.
Yeah. I think it was nice. We had food options, and we had discounts that we had set up where at the local food places. So it was good that people used those, and
I totally forgot to
yeah,
use
it
them,
was
by the
great.
way. So
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
yeah, there was like a
People didn't
discount
use-
at the taco place, which I would have used. Like I ate there
I ate
all
there
3
like
days.
4 times.
So,
Yeah, it was great.
Very quite
It was
good.
really good. We went somewhere else once, and I regretted not going to the taco place.
yeah.
We kept going back over to the Jamaican Peruvian fusion just because the people
so
there were
good.
so excited to see us every time. Like there was one time we went over there for lunch and the owner stood there and shook our hands as we left, like, and thanked us for. I was like, it was just like
Wow.
a really special feel.
gotta-
Yeah,
I got to hit that place up next time.
you
VIP.
I've
do.
only been
It's
there once, so,
fantastic.
yeah.
I mean,
I
he's-
had.
I bet he's a subscriber.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. We had jerk chicken and waffles.
Yep,
Nice.
that's what we had.
Oh yeah.
I felt so philosophical. Like they had these chairs that were so comfortable with like pillows in them. And Nelson and I, we were having dinner together. We both pushed way back and had like our legs up. And it was like we're just talking, and it was like we were pontificating about the world. Like I've never relaxed so much at dinner. Like it was so nice. It was just, I don't know. That was a cool place. I agree.
Sunday they had brunch with live music. So
Wow.
we hit that up. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I missed out. Now I regret eating tacos like 4 times in 3 days. So
Spies here says, I was the last person from that first table to get called. Yeah, still a lot of people from that one. And ate at the taco place when I wasn't getting stuff from the snack bar. Yeah, but I agree. There were a couple other spots that were. I had the ice cream. It was fantastic. I have to have ice cream. It's like a Sanderson family tradition. A rule. One of our rules is eat ice cream whenever possible. So it was impossible. I was
Good
playing
rule.
with Nelson, staring at the ice cream place for the entire campaign, and I was like, I have to go there.
their coffee, it's like a coffee and ice cream place, and my wife is a huge ice cream fanatic, and it got her seal of approval. I took her there once, and she's like, okay, you can go. So
Yeah,
Nice. All right. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, the venue was really nice. I did like a highlight was walking around the tables, talking to everybody, seeing where they came from. And one thing that was really nice was that we had a lot of people who were new to the game or were brought by someone, and because you were talking about the prizes and the raffles, and a lot of people were able to pick up hero packs or things like that were brand new to the game and they were really excited about it. And it was just really fun to be playing with people, degenerates like me who've been around since the beginning and play all the time, and then people who are brand new getting into the hobby. And it was just it was really nice to have something for all the different levels of players to be able to give to them in the raffle. So that was wonderful. And the giveaways. Yep.
Cool. I want to get to 2 more things. I want to talk about the custom stuff, not the custom content that we played on Sunday, but the custom things that you all created, as well as like these packs of custom cards we got that are essentially cards that are seemingly going away, that were now cards that were available to people. And I also want to make sure we all kind of go through our like highlights. What was the highlight thing of the weekend, travel, whatever it was. So I want to get to those 2 more things, but I do want to just be an hour for sake of time for everybody. We could talk forever. It was a great convention. So actually, instead of the custom campaign, which we'll get to, and I think I'll actually have Nelson walk us through that because he did that earlier today fantastically. See what I did there. But I want to know about these. We got these like green packs that said MCDC that were sealed. Because I think there was one pack we got that was the Alt Arts, which were also at Con of Heroes, which totally people haven't even been to Con of Heroes. They haven't seen those, which was really nice from Winning Hand. But there was also a pack that had just a variety of alt art cards. And Jonah, I actually saw your big box later with a whole bunch of those. So who was behind those? What was that? Was that you as a convention? Was that somebody else who did all those?
Yeah, that was us as a convention. I think Boom Guy from Winning Hand is a local, and he had brought those packs to Con of Heroes this past year.
The alt art hero ones.
The alt art hero
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
And he had worked with some other members of the community, Band of Sirens and Corbin, who had provided some of those alt heroes. And that was a highlight for a lot of us who went to Con of Heroes. So, and I said, I don't want to be doing the same exact thing, even though Winning Hand is local, so they did give away their next set of heroes. But again, it was something like, well, people like those blind packs, those things. Let's do player cards, aspect cards, especially with the change to current and legacy coming up. And things like Doctor Strange and Captain America being hard to get, and so we had sort of two goals with that. One was to get those cards that people like to play that are maybe a little harder to find, and then the other one was like, what are the type of cards that you just like to put in a lot of decks but you don't have many prints of it, for example, like Skilled Investigator or Maria Hill. So we kind of, the whole group, the planning committee and some of the other people that helped us, we kind of threw together a bunch of ideas of things that we wanted. And then Jonah was the one who put together the actual look of the cards. Several of our local community found cool art, and we were able to put it together. But Jonah was the one that photoshopped them all up and we had them printed. And Jonah, you want to talk about your bagging party that you had?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, after we sent this huge order to the printers, and I got this giant box that was probably like 30 pounds in the in the mail, and I opened it up and I'm like, I knew we had ordered a lot of cards because like it was a lot. I knew it, right? But I didn't really like know it in my gut until I picked this box up, and then I looked inside and I was like, oh, this is a lot. Like, this
what have we done?
What have we done? Right. So we did, we did aspect, all 4 aspects. We did basic cards, and the idea was to give everybody a booster pack that had a selection of the cards, but like just a random selection, right? So that, in Champions, we don't get to have the experience of kind of ripping open a pack of random cards, because that's just not how the game works. And thank God for that, by the way. But yeah, we wanted to have that kind of experience of like crack a booster pack open and you've got a selection of cards. And so everybody got, 3 different cards from each aspect and 3 basic cards, I think it was. And we had a big event. I just had a bunch of people over my house on a Saturday, and I was just like, all right, I just like slapped the box on the table. All right, let's sort these all out and let's get all the mod sets together, because we're going to need to give one of those to everybody, one of the Doom ones and the Fantastic Four ones. And then let's get all the aspect cards. And so it was most of an afternoon to get everything sorted out, but we had a big party, and we played a game afterwards. So it was fun.
I'm used to the alt art heroes. Like, they make sense that people get them and then they immediately play with them. And even it will. And one thing that's neat that I was thinking about was it encourages people like, oh, I have this hero with me, so I'm going to play them because I have it. But I honestly didn't anticipate the speed that those aspect cards went into people's decks. Like, I'm not like, I think it's great. It's not as much of a me thing, but it was so neat to all of a sudden, like, everybody's just like, oh, I got to switch. I mean, the first table I'm playing with, people are switching the cards in. Every group I went to, I played with decks that already had them in it. Like, people were so excited to just put other cards they hadn't seen. And, you had things like Skilled Investigator. So if people were playing 2 or 3 of them because we were at a convention, they were swapping them out so they'd have different versions in there and whatnot. I thought that was really neat. So it was nothing that I expected. It was different from what I'd seen, and the reaction I thought was very positive towards that. People were even swapping cards for ones they wanted or the art they wanted. I mean, the people that play like Spider-Man and Spidey characters were like chasing all those down for sure. I saw like full Web Warrior decks, it felt like, with stuff in them. It was really neat. I have a Danger Room one that's awesome. It's really cool. So I like that one a lot. So I'll try to get a chance to play with some of the ones I have. So
yeah, it was a super fun like period of it was probably like a couple of months overall, like that we were like in progress making all of these. And then it was just like every time someone had an idea of a cool card, like, oh, like I hate the art on X card or Y card, or I really wish we'd do a version of this. They're just like, all right, like let's see if we can do it. Right. So like cards that just, I don't know, like Brian said, we try to get cards that are hard to find, until, this past month. Night Nurse was one of those, right? Like it's in Doctor Strange, but you can't get it anymore. So that was like first on our list was Night Nurse. And so we did a version of that. Thankfully they reprinted it with Civil War, but again, most people who don't have the Doctor Strange pack only have 1 copy of Night Nurse. Night Nurse, I don't know about you guys, but she's in like most of my protection decks. So an extra copy or 2 of that is always welcome. But
I was glad to see that you didn't remake Bring It, because everybody knows the best character is already on Bring It. So,
well, what if we found another piece of art of Rocket?
I'm all in, but he was in the Doctor Doom one. That was my favorite. I think I pointed that out to you. I was so excited to see
that's
him.
a good one
in there.
But yeah, I mean, there's tons of these. Every time I pull out the box, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. You know, this Gwen one I think is fantastic too.
So I didn't realize that those aspect cards, that it was like a random selection for like 2 days. And then somebody said, oh yeah, that was like a booster pack, just like the winning hand ones, where I'm like, oh, okay. And then my son, and like it speaks to the community. My son was like, all right, well, I'm going to go around and trade things. And he just kind of went up to people, and they were very gracious, and they were trading. And, you know, they say no to him. It's not like they just did it, just because he was a kid. They're like, well, I really want my Ghost Spider, but I have this Marie Hill or whatever it was. So he was able to go around. And since I got a set and he got a set, we really did pretty good. So, yeah, it's nice. It was fun.
Yeah, several of the tables while people were setting up, that's what they were doing. They were like taking those cards out to trade. Go ahead, Nelson.
Oh, I was just going to also shout out the fact that the files are available on the mcdc.fun website. So you can go, and if you do want to print them out, I'm just like scrolling through them as we're talking. I'm like, because like I was saying with Steve, I think it took me about halfway through the con to realize, like, wait a second, I didn't get that one. I was like, oh, there's more.
There's more. Yeah.
So that was like a really fun. And then I started like keeping my eye out for them. I think my favorite of it were the different Sorcerer Supremes, where you had one with Magic, Strange, and then one with Scarlet Witch. And like drew the Scarlet Witch, and I brought a Scarlet Witch, and so that was really fun to slot that in pretty immediately. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a really bad proxy in my collection because I wanted a second one. Well, it's gone now. It's I'm these nice new ones. Yeah, really good ones.
I mean, I'll say even I was surprised because we had thrown a bunch of ideas at the wall several months ago, and I opened up and I had like a multitasking with multiple man on it. I was like, wait a second, I thought we chose Spider-Man on it, and then someone had the one with Spider-Man. I was like, wait, we printed both of them? Okay, that's awesome. So yeah.
Nelson, can you quick run us through just a broad overview of the campaign with the Doom scenario and the Fantastic Four mod, and then I just want to get Steven and Spartan's opinions on those, and then I want to talk about highlights and run to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a 3-game campaign, which I thought is the right length for like a con campaign. And one of the things that I appreciated about this campaign is there was encouragement to get up and switch groups. I thought that was really cool. So that was fun. I think we ended up staying with the same group, Brandt and I, but but it was encouraged. And I thought that was a cool way to encourage interactive play. But we started out playing a Civil War leader with the Doctor Doom mod set, and the Doctor Doom mod set is just really clever. It's got some really fun interactions in it because you have Victor Von Doom, who turns into Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is not great, but then you defeat Doctor Doom, and then Doctor Doom comes back with like 20 extra health, and then it felt very Thunderbolt-esque in the sense of like, this is now the main priority. We have to take this out because he's 2/2. I think he's villainous, but he doesn't have victory. The card that gives him like all the extra health and stuff does have victory, so that goes away. Then he can come back, and then we were having fun knocking him out multiple times because whenever you got to knock him out, you healed and you got to draw some cards, which was pretty fun. But we did that, and then we went into Enchantress.
Wait. You missed the side scheme, Doom War, which I thought was great. Doom shows up and he attacks the villain. Like,
right.
Doom's nobody's minion. He is nobody's minion, so he's got his own agenda. That was a lot of fun, and that was on a bingo card. Have Doom defeat the villain, which we did not complete, but I hope somebody did.
Well, we had a fun moment in our game because we were fighting against Captain Marvel, who gets counters every time she's attacked, and then attacks the character who attacked her. So Doom War came out, Doom and all the Doom bots attacked her, and then she got angry and attacked them back.
Nice.
And I was playing with Caleb, and he thought that was pretty fun.
That was good. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, I had a similar interaction at my table where like that came out for the first time. And I was playing with 3 people I didn't know. And I purposely was like, didn't say anything and just like wanted to stay quiet. I had a hard time because like wanted to say something, but I stayed quiet. And then they read the card and they're like, okay, so the Doombot and oh, now I get Dr. Doom. Okay. And then like they stopped and then somebody else was like, oh, there's more on there. You got to read the rest of it. And so they read the rest of it. And they're like, they all attacked the villain, and there was an incredulous face. Like,
that's a fun moment.
Oh, well, yeah, our epic moment was someone put down what was it? Lay down the trap. Is that what? Is that what's the one that you do 20 damage if you're playing a 4-player game?
Yeah, lay down
trap. All right, so we had that down, and it had 3 thread on it left, and we were playing against Hela, and I flipped down as Gambit, and I go and do his ability, and I got a 1 boost. And so we did that, and then 2 different characters got schemed on, and then we got both advances, and we lost the game.
Oh man, so close.
But nice. In our mind, we were like, you know what? We won it. Come on, we that would have been fun to win if we did it that way. But if we actually looked at everything, we probably would have been fine.
Nelson, give us the last 2 scenarios there then.
So then we went into an Enchantress scenario from the Trickster Takeover pack, but we swapped out I don't remember the
Trickster Magic.
Trickster Magic, thank you. Mod set with a custom mod set, which was basically Trickster Magic vibe, where you had like the enemies turn into allies, but they were the Fantastic Four allies. And I think that overall they felt both levels were kind of raised up in power, I thought, which was kind of fun. Like the minions were harder, but also the allies were cooler, because you had like I don't even remember. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you had all of the things. Invisible Woman like threw up magical barriers and stuff, and so
you had to play a punch, otherwise you couldn't hit anybody.
Yeah,
I loved Thing on that one, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was so cool how they did it. But my favorite part about that entire mod set is that all of the ally versions have victory, meaning that they leave the game after they're done. But there's a side scheme. Count on Steve to know the mod sets. There's a side scheme that brings all of the minions or the allies in the victory display back into play. And so I know Brandt and I were trying to game the system where we're like, we don't want to take out the side scheme quite yet, because we can actually like knock out the Thing and get the Thing back. And so that I thought that was really clever. And then when we hopped into the third scenario, which was Hela, the allies started in the victory display, and we started with that side scheme on the table, because Hela gets powered up whenever you put side schemes in the victory display. But then you get the Fantastic Four allies, and in that scenario specifically, they lost the victory keyword, so you got to keep them around, which was kind of cool. It felt like kind of this reward of progressing through the campaign. And like, I think Hela, you got to start with a player side scheme in play, which were like cool, and then we're like, oh no, now she's really mean, and and so that was fun. But I thought that the campaign was really well designed. A lot of fun interactions, a lot of like cool twist on older heroes. Really well done. Enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a lot of fun. I loved like how Doom popped up, Fantastic Four popped up, then they're both in the last one. I thought it was just really fun. And weaving through some scenarios, we got to play Civil War to begin, which was really fun. Like that was a great choice to put a Civil War villain there. And then Enchantress, who's kind of newer, and then going back to Hela, who's just a community classic, right? Everybody just loves her. So that was a great one to end on. She feels like an epic boss. So I thought it was really good. What did you think, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. I really like the way the Doom mod set and the Fantastic Four one changed as you played them in the campaign. And we played the Doom modular set a whole bunch, but we just took out Victor Von Doom and the God Emperor, and we just played without those 2 cards, like in random games. So those mod sets are really fun to be able to use elsewhere too, without feeling like, oh no, here comes the massive Doom again, but still having the regular Doom, all the Doom bots, the side scheme, the treachery, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, everything was nice and modular. I mean, that's what's I really like about the game. So you guys did good on that.
That was a goal. The one thing that we really like to do is the modularity of the game. And so as we were going through and making those, we were like, wait, we could make these that you could even use the one mod in multiple different ways. You could use it telling the story of the Rise of Doom, or start with Doom already ascended, and now you don't have the God Emperor and the Victor Von Doom starting part, but you have just Doom in there as a big villain. And the same thing with Fantastic Four. It's like, oh, it's great to convert them from the minion that Enchantress has bewitched, but we just want to play with Fantastic Four. Well, you can do that too. So
nice. Awesome. Well, before we go, I want to get highlights from everybody. So about 30 seconds going around here. Let's do highlights. Spartan, why don't we start with you? What was your 30-second highlight from the weekend?
I had 3. I got to play a game with Caleb where I had Red Skull and what was it, Crime and Arcade. And he came in with a Winter Soldier deck. So it was absolutely useless because there were no minions in it. That was one.
I didn't even mention that Caleb was there. We're just mentioning it now, 55 minutes in.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Bury the lead.
The second one would be probably the fact that even though I lost my first game, Larry and I were undefeated in 3 games. And then I again, that Hella game, I kind of mentioned it already, where I flipped down, and if I had just done that, the 3 boosts, I could have beaten her. That would have been absolutely amazing. Cool. Highlight of my life.
Games of the highlights. How about you, Brian? What was the highlight for you?
The highlight for me was, I didn't play very much on Saturday because we ran Loki and then the 2 player a PvP session, but a highlight for me was just enjoying and soaking in everybody having a good time when I wasn't actually playing. Like usually you're playing and you're only in your game, but seeing everybody across the place really enjoying was really awesome. And I think a personal highlight was that we encouraged 56 people to try the competitive mode, and we had 23 teams of 2 face off, and a lot of people who before they got there said, oh, I don't think competitive's for me, or I'm not really interested in it, ended up playing it. And then I saw a lot of those same people playing it again and again throughout the weekend. So just to have people try this new mode and have a place to play it that's low stakes and fun. And there was a lot of laughter, a lot of people kind of like just like, oh, when the other person gave them the one card they didn't need to have. It was a lot of fun.
So what do you think? Was 2v2 the right call?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that gets the best of both worlds. So if you're interested in that mode, definitely try to get, next time you have a 4-player game, it'll be over in probably less than half the time of a normal 4-player game too. So
Nelson, what was your highlight?
I think my highlight was being one of the 63 or however many people that was, you know what, I'll try it out. And then I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. The competitive mode, that was a lot of fun. I got to play with Caleb. With the 2 of us were a team. So it was really fun to play Scarlet Witch and Winter Soldier together. But yeah, I was just really impressed with the competitive mode because I really didn't think it was going to be for me. And I will say specifically the 2v2, really fun. A lot of really interesting, fun, cooperative decisions for your team.
Nice. Jonah.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the people who were like, no, PvP is meh. What, I'm not gonna do it. And then, I got talked into it, and I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So, definitely would play 2v2 again. I don't think I would play 1v1. Personally, I just don't think it's my vibe. But I enjoyed the 2v2 quite a lot for the same reasons Nelson just said about that. There's this like you're chatting with your partner, but like, oh, should I do this or this, or like, should we give them this card or that card? I think there's some nice and fun decisions to be made there. I think overall, though, I think my highlight was getting to play the Loki massively multiplayer scenario. So I got to play with Caleb and my daughter.
Oh, nice.
And it was super fun. Like we just had so much fun playing the Loki thing. I intentionally went in and I was like, all right, I've got to like play like one of the heroes that Caleb designed. And it just worked out that like I ended up playing my Shadowcat, protect the table deck.
Oh, nice.
Which I love playing. I don't do it often. So when I do get to play it, it's really fun for me. so I got to play that, and then I gave Maris she was on Ms. Marvel, who she also designed, and so it was like really fun to just like push those heroes kind of to the limit. I think she thwarted that like collective side scheme that everybody can thwart for like 27 threat and 1 thwart, at one point, and Caleb's eyes kind of got real big at that, and after the second go around where I defended for all 4 people, he was just like, all right, well, I guess all I do is hit things, right? And I'm like, yep, that's what you do. So
yeah,
it was super fun.
Nice. Steve, how about you? What was your highlight?
So a lot of those same things, but we played a 5-player all Captain America game. So we played a Captain America in every aspect against Captain America.
That's great.
And that was a ton of fun, and not as long as you would think it would be. I think the 5-player game on the Cap game was shorter than our King game. But I think also being able to bring my son there, having him he had such a good time. He came out of there like wanting to go to another one, wanting to play more Marvel Champions, deciding that Winter Soldier is now his new favorite hero. So being able to do that with him and just see him playing with other people, he played a bunch of games without me. That was great. And then seeing everybody, right? Like seeing you guys and old friends and new friends, and all that sappy fun,
We finally got a
friends
game
we made
together.
along the way. Yes, we got a game, and finally, yeah. Although I did not get to play with Caleb this time because I'm hearing he played with all the rest of you guys. So every time we went to go, he was in the middle of a game, and then you know how the timing doesn't work.
He was dodging you.
I think so.
That's what happened.
He
saw
asked
you
me to
coming.
play because he didn't want to play with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, I'll have to talk to him about it next time he's on.
Nice. Well, before I get my highlight, Spee says, big kudos and thanks for all this work and effort, especially to Brian and Jonah. Please pass that on to the rest of you. Felt very relaxed, and as an introvert, that's a big deal.
Well, obviously, Brandt, your favorite part was riding with me for 12 hours, right?
There you go. So I agree. The fact that introverts, I don't know if I know anyone more extroverted than I am. So when everybody's talking about getting tired and playing, I mean, when we were tired, we went up to bed and I came back downstairs to play another game because people keep me going. So I am very extroverted. So it's good to know that like this con can help people. People were more than willing to pull another person in, get up, find another person. I think that's a huge part of the Marvel Champions community. We're not interested in a table of people sitting there not participating. And I think that's really great. But as an extrovert, I decided to show up with no decks, and I borrowed all my decks. So I played 13 decks that were not my own. And there's something really cool about it because I think it's like, I go to these things because I like people. I play 4-player games because I like interacting with people. And there's something weirdly personal about playing somebody else's deck. Not like strange. It's just like people wanted to explain their decks, man. I'm like, I do want you to. If there's something key I have to know, it's fine. But I really just want to play the deck and see what you were thinking. Why did these pieces in here and what do they want to do? And it really was fun. I actually don't think it's something I would repeat. I don't think it's like, oh, Brandt's now going to be the person who shows up with nothing. And I actually feel like I did some people a disservice in that I should have brought a playmat. I have my Rocket Raccoon playmat. I should have had a playmat. I should have had a dial. I should have had some bling because everybody had bling on the table. And then I had a blank table with somebody else's deck. And I don't think I brought the same joy. So I have to remember that for me, it was this idea of like being minimalist. But next time I would change it. I would make sure that I still have things to do and whatnot, and all that. So that was kind of my highlight. But I agree. Big props, Jonah, Brian, tell the whole team. It was great. Do you have any information for next year that we can let people know?
Yeah, we're already thinking about it. We had a meeting as a team last night just to talk through, lessons learned and the kind of like what we need to remember for next time. So we will be having another event. It will almost certainly be in the fall and probably be in October again, but we'll work on specific scheduling. So it will happen again. It will be a similar format of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Location is TBD. We would love to go back to Huzzah, but as you might know from how quickly the tickets sold out, like we probably need a bigger venue, or at least we need to be able to use the entire space there. which they may or may not be willing to let us do.
Sure.
So keep your eyes peeled on that for an announcement on like ticket sales and kind of location, but it will be obviously somewhere in the DC metro area. We also, I think Nelson mentioned it earlier, but the cards, all the custom stuff I was holding up, I have a big box right here, but all of that stuff, including the campaign cards and the challenge cards that we made and all of the alt arts and the modular sets and all that stuff, it's all up on our website. You can download it and print it yourself.
That's really cool. Thank you for doing that.
So you know, have at that for those who weren't there or those who didn't get a particular aspect card. I have a feeling, I have a decent number of cards left, and I have a feeling like the next event I go to, I'll probably bring it. And so if you happen to be at the next thing I'm at, if it's Con of Heroes or whatever, or Brandt's thing in February, then, you know, you might be able to pull me aside and grab a couple of cards out of there too. So
speaking of next events, hold on. If these guys can host a con in the East Coast, no shade on you guys, I am the villain, so I'm going to throw. Then somebody on the West Coast can hold a con, right?
Yeah.
If you are West Coast, you're like, I did not get to go, do it, host it, right?
Yeah.
You could do it, right? Find a game store, host it, right?
And pay to fly me out, and I'll run Loki.
There you go.
Dang it! I was going to ask for that.
Oh, sorry, Steve first, and then I will be. I'll be Enchantress. You be Loki, I'll be Enchantress.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was amazing. It was so much fun, but it can be done, right? It can be done. You guys are just fans of the game. You're not paid to do this. You volunteered your time, and you made an awesome thing for everybody. So somebody out West Coast, middle of the country, Southwest, right? There could be a con at every corner of the globe.
I do know there's one in Netherlands, and I believe there's a pretty big meetup in Spain or Portugal, and I apologize, I don't remember. There are some international ones as well.
Yeah, there was one in France as well. Yeah. So I on our website, mcdc.fun, we have all those images to print. We also have TTS files, and I know there was a group of people that ran the campaign over the weekend simultaneously to us. That was organized by the Jasaru from Road to Nowhere, and he runs the Modoc League and the involved in the SCL. So, you know, that's available also on the website. And I'll just say, if you're interested in coming next year, we're going to try to have more tickets, but it did sell out quick. So the best way to know when it's happening, what's happening next, what are the updates, is to go to mcdc.fun and sign up for the email list, and we will promise not to spam you, but we will send updates, you know, relatively regularly, and you'll be the first to know when it goes on sale.
Awesome. And I promise anybody that comes to Connecticut in February, July, if I have any other MCDC information, I will give you that information there as well. But sure, we'll certainly pass along anything that we know and whatnot. One last thing here from Michael, who you may have seen on the channel, both Michael and Matthew. They're actually father and son, and they play on the channel here with me from time to time. And he just says to Steve, love hearing your highlight as a father of an adult son who has found the love of gaming as he grew up. It relates fatherly pride. So yeah, it's really cool when you get to play and do stuff with your kids. My oldest daughter is not into gaming at all, but we're both really into music. And so it was really fun. I think I was telling them earlier, like, I just got to come home and just play piano again, and my daughter sang. So it's just anytime you can do that kind of stuff with your kids.
My honorable mention highlight was the kids game that my daughter and Tommy and Craig's kids played. So that seemed like super fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you everybody for watching or watching afterward. We appreciate it. MCDC was great. Look forward to it for next year and for years to come and whatnot. So we'll pass on the information as we find it and whatnot. A great job. But until next time, I'm the Brandt. I'm
Steve from Critical Encounters. Check out our recap, issue 296.
Yes.
Not out yet.
Sorry about that.
It's not out yet, but it'll be coming out soon.
And
Jonah, I'm a JG on Discord, but that's where you can find me.
And
Seeing Spartan.
And
Brian V. Jackson.
And did we get
Yeah, okay. I was waiting for it.
I'm Nelson. Everybody.
I'm Nelson, and then I'm Nelson on Discord.
Awesome. But until next time, we hope you step into the portal. Everybody have a great night. MCDC was great, and we'll see you in February, and we'll see you at Con of Heroes, and we'll see you next year at MCDC, because Marvel Champions is an amazing community, and it brings people together. Good night, everybody.
Bye.